Welcome to, Shyzalosophy. Here's your host, Shyzabox.
What the hell? Shyzalosophy? Huh. Oh yeah, whoa, whoa, what the hell, whoa, get out of here. And the horse you rode in on? Apprentice, get out of here. What the hell is all this crap? It's our show. I'll think you get out of the way. The hell? I don't know what the hell's going on. But give us a sec. We got to utilize our futuristic technology that we picked up from wherever we got it from. And of course, it's a little outdated, but it allows us to touch base with management, who seems to have cluttered our workspace, our space, with a bunch of crap. Hey, have management call the booth. Sorry about this, it'll just be one sec to rectify and clarify this. There they are now. Hey, what is all this crap here? No, we didn't forget. That's absurd. No, there's no way, shape, or iota of truth to that at all. There's no way we forgot. We knew that we were having to do that, and believe you me, no, we haven't started yet, of course not. No, in fact, we're about to. We're about to go live as we speak. Hold on. Yep, yeah, don't worry about it. Hang on, we'll be right back. Hey, you do that intro again now. What? No, you do it again. You know how this place is. They're gonna try and dock our shit again this week. If you want that 20 bucks back that you lent us, then be a, good favor and do that shit again.
Welcome to, Shyzalosophy. Here's, your host, Shyzabox.
There, see? Now was that too hard? Jeez Louise. You know how management is. It would be all over us for this. Oh, yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Get out of here. And the horse you rode in on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all. Well, glad we clarified what's going on tonight. Because believe you me, we were confused when we got here, thinking that we had forgotten what we're actually doing tonight, which of course is celebrating Happy 420. So, Happy 420 to one and all on the internet. Excellent. And you might be saying to yourself, Shyzabox, we can't see you because that crap's in the way, right? And it's like, well, don't worry about it. It's a better show anyway. But believe you me, if there's one thing that we know, that's true. And this gots to go. You might be saying, what is that thing? Well, believe you me, all through the night, we are going to give you the opportunity, the internet, you the chance, and we put internet as a term loosely, right? Because the internet tonight is going to consist of anyone who happens to stumble in here, accidentally misclicks, whoops, I regret that, and ends up wanting to participate and contribute to the one and only naming of our next character. And you might be saying, what? That sounds dumb. That sounds ridiculous. And believe you me, it kind of is. But if there's one thing we embrace here, it's the dumb. It's the ridiculous, okay? It's the aspect and components of every element of craziness that makes the inter of the net what it is, right? Makes it a fun place to go to, take part in, maybe hang out at, right? And in this case, you're probably better off somewhere else. So, find one of those places, but do it on a different tab. Mute this and go watch it somewhere else. Anyhow, we're giving you the chance tonight, as we totally remembered, and management informed us that we remembered, and totally did not forget. We're given the opportunity tonight for the internet to name the next character on the channel. That's right, you might be saying, what kind of accolade, what kind of honor, what kind of anything of relevance is that? And believe you me, not a lot of much, but if there is one thing that it harbors or is, or anything like that, it's the renown to know that you and you alone successfully named the next character on the channel. You might be saying, like, yeah, but the channel sucks. My friends will never watch it. Who cares if you choose the name for the character based off what we give you to name the character, right? Why would we do your work for you? And believe you me, that's a good question. But it's really not that good, because it really paints the spotlight on us having you do our jobs, which we like to trick you into doing. So don't worry about it, and do it anyway. And pretend like we haven't had this part of the conversation you had with yourself that we never had. Excellent. So, the internet gets to name the next character. We'll leave this kind of up a little out of the way, okay? Best we can. Jeez Louise. You'd think that they would give us a little bit of a better working space and area with which we could do the show. But alas, we get what we get. Needless to say, welcome one, welcome all, welcome to Shyzabox. Shyzalosophy. Tonight we got a special episode for you. That's right. Tonight, happy 420. To all of you that celebrate us getting 420 subscribers on the channel. Now, you might be saying, there's no way that you've done that. Those are all fake accounts that you made. And while there may be some iota of truth to that, don't worry about it. Focus on the fact that we've gotten to at least 420 legitimate subscribers. So, that's why we're giving you the opportunity to name the next character on the channel. And believe you me, if you don't want to, or don't choose to participate, we'll do it ourselves. Doesn't matter. All right. Now, there's a lot of things associated with us having 420 actual subscribers on the channel now. And when you're sitting back and you're counting all of the legitimate ones and you're like, we finally got 420 legitimate subscribers. I can sit back and don't have to generate as many conjecture or maybe hyperbole and conflated numbers on our behalf or recollection that's totally not rooted in anything inherently correct right now for entertainment purposes. I think we had, there's at least 420 subscribers now, so look at us moving along. Anyhow, we were thinking of a few names. We want to save them until the end, okay? Because we want all of you to chime in first before we taint the aether with our permeated words of naming from our mouth. So we'll reserve that for the end of the episode. But for currently, when you're sitting back, you're counting that we have 420 actual real subscribers now. Sometimes you want to kick it and listen to music, right? You might be saying, no, I like playing games. I like going on a walk. I like playing games. Whatever you like to do, sometimes music can be inherently a nice asset to doing such. Maybe if you're playing games, you can have music playing in the background. Maybe if you're playing games and hanging out, you can have music in headphones, things of that nature, on Bluetooth speakers. Maybe there's a jukebox in a local establishment that downloads songs from the internet nowadays. Crazy how that works. Jukeboxes that play almost whatever you want. Crazy stuff. But what there is inherently is a lot of options and accessibility to different types. And when you're sitting around, you're counting the 420 subscribers that we have now, and you're like, whoa, that's a lot of fake accounts this dude's made, right? And it's like, yeah, well, we gotta get the fractions of cents from YouTube somehow. They want us to have thousands of subscribers, right? Here we are sitting at 420. We're never going to hit that. But what we can do is open up discussion to name the next character on the channel, which we totally remembered to do, and everything. So, take that, management. Anyhow, when you're sitting back here listening to music and you're counting the 420 actual subscribers, being like, psh, any decade now, we're really going to take off. Then you think to yourself, what kind of music can we listen to while taking on such a complex ordeal? A complex event that eludes us as to why we have to put so much time into it for it to permeate into fruition. So, you can put on things like the X-Files soundtrack, right? And you're like, what? The X-Files soundtrack? They have something called that? And it's like, well, yeah. The X-Files, the album, Fight the Future. This has all sorts of stuff, right? There's the Dust Brothers, Sarah McLachlan, a little artist called Bjork. Fantastic. There's some real good stuff on here. Uh-oh, the Cardigans. Don't tell me that's Love Me. I don't know, we haven't listened to it in a while. It probably is, but it might not be. Maybe we'll find out for you. I'm going to look it up faster. Whatever. Bet we can find it somewhere. Wings on here. Psh, Voodoo of the Fighters. Tonic. You know, the list goes on and on for 14 of artists. Fantastic. So when you're thinking to yourself, you're like, self, you know, there's 14 tracks of individual artists on the X-Files soundtrack, Fight the Future, right? And if I were to listen to it, I might find some other artists that I like. Better than Ezra. We haven't listened to them in forever. The Cardigans song is Deuce. Maybe they dropped one all over the album. I don't know. We haven't listened to it in a while, but if there's something when we're sitting around counting all 420 of our actual subscribers, then maybe inherently that's a great time to revisit and recheck out the X-Files little soundtrack there. So we'll put that in the to-do pile. Excellent. We have a big to-do pile. Now you might be saying, I need something a little more hopping, a little more rocking, a little more rock and roll when I'm sitting back counting my 420 of the subscribers, right? It's like, whoa, 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 heavy hitter, high roller. Counting 420 subscribers and you need something faster out the gate? Well, the only answer to that is Suicide Machines, obviously. Now, insert Suicide Machines album here, right? Suicide Machines are that fast-paced, pick-me-up, energetic, punk rock and roll. A little bit of a ska twinge, okay, thrown in there. That just elevates the ear listening holes and brings you to an entirely new realm of enjoyment, right? And when we put on Suicide Machines and start hearing the speed and the energy and everything like that, it reminds us and makes us nostalgic for times of the past when we were a rebellious, angsty youth up to no good before we wasted time going to college, signing up for it and taking out those loans. Oh, no, different episode. Anyhow, Suicide Machines is great. You can listen to it when you have no money and you're working 3 jobs going through college and be like, man, this system sucks. These guys know exactly what we're talking about. But, you know, that's just how it goes. But let's take it upon ourselves now, right, to really kick back and talk about what drives individuals to want to hear the next iteration, the next take, the next album to listen to, potentially throw on, when you are sitting back and listening to information to throw on, right? You might be saying, well, of course, Bucko 9, libido, super laid back, super nice, super casual, super chill, okay? The perfect thing to put on with which to entertain yourself as you're sitting back counting the 420 of the subscribers that you got, you know? Fantastic. Who are they? Oh, Bucko 9. No, that's the name of the track, track 1. Who are they? Where do they get their information? Who are they? And where do they get their know? Who are they? Hey. Why do you think they know? Well, if that's not poetic in nature, I don't know what else is, aside from poetry, right? Bucko 9 is fantastic. These dudes provide such easy listening, bliss and pleasure for your ear holes, embraced and wrapped around the ska, leisure, mindset, and way of life, that it really enhances the way that you sit back and count the 420 subscribers that you legitimately have. Excellent. But alas, there's, even more. You might be saying, like, no, that's not for me. I need something that's way, way different from that. I need something that stands out, that makes itself inherently one of the things to check out, to take part in listening to jump into when I'm counting the, things. And by things, we mean, potential names of the new character on the channel. Maybe Rex. Maybe, I don't know. Like we said, we're going to wait until the end. We don't want to litter the aether. But what we do want to litter our ear holes with is the Bloodhound Gang, right? These guys are fantastic. We love every iteration and aspect of music that they have dropped and put out for years and years and decades and decades. There are so many bands and individuals and folks that have tried to iterate or take on exactly what Bloodhound Gang has done and brought to the table over the years, which is, comedic bliss and perfection mixed with melody, tones, and, ironically, politically incorrect, correct politically correctness. Okay? Jimmy Pop has a way to conflate and mix words that inherently go back and forth and contradict each other whilst strengthening their original argument. It's kind of like the epitome of Shyzalosophy almost, right? You try and go and just find the ways that it works, okay? That makes it, fit your listening lifestyle. Maybe you don't like every track that they offer, but there's some good ones out there. So, definitely something to potentially listen to. Yes, hello, hi. Welcome. We're, of course, celebrating 420, and you might be saying, well, how are you doing that? If there's one thing I know about 420, it's that it's not 420. And we don't know what that has to do with anything. You must be speaking in code. We get it. So, We're talking 420 subscribers, right? You might be saying, no, man, 420. If you're doing an episode on that, you better have Pikachu run by. It's like, what? Have Pikachu run by? Well, that's just insane. Why would we take it upon ourselves to do that? If anything, one thing we couldn't do is have Pikachu run by because he's heavily copyrighted and you're not allowed to, really do stuff like that. So, we don't know why you would recommend it. And before you know it, you're going to be like, hey, babe, come in here. Pikachu's on this 420 channel show, right? We'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, he's not. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen. Here we are, kicking it, and dude's like, oh, there's Pikachu. There's no Pikachu here at all. If anything, thank you. There's just fantastic things going on that have nothing to do with naming the new character on the channel. You might be saying, what? That looks like a giant donut. I'm like, no, it's not a giant donut. This thing, that's a giant donut thing. Oh. You missed the point. The point is that we are talking about things that you can listen to, rock out to when you're celebrating, counting the 420 legitimate subscribers that you have. So, one of our favorite things, believe you me, to listen to is music. And when we go back old school and we think things that have entertained for decades and decades, that have been around for probably a decade older than us, maybe. Close to it. Probably not, but maybe. The Pixies, right? Good old-fashioned rock and roll. The Pixies are so amazing in what they present to the listener, as far as music goes, that it takes them on an emotional journey and roller coaster ride that leaves them wanting more. Almost like we need more names for the character. So, we've talked about stuff you can listen to, stuff that you can rock out to as you're going along, taking part in, whatever you take part in, whatever's up to you. But, if there's one thing that now we have to reach out and touch base with, it's our buddy that works in the thumbnail department, because we told him that we would. So, bust out that fancy communication device that the channel picked up on the cheap. I mean, it's a little outdated tech. It's from the next generation, but it's still pretty good. So, hey, have thumbnail room call the booth. Usually just takes a sec. Give us a minute. Hey. No, not you. Thumbnail department. What do you mean they don't got a line? What do you mean they don't have an office? What the hell? How's this place operate? Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, listen. You know where he hangs out back, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, well, go. I don't care if he just lit it. But you tell him to fucking put that shit out. And then you tell him that he needs to call, because we're taking names now. And if he wants to take one, then he better get on the horn. Alright. Jeez Louise. People say, oh, hey, man. When you're going to name that new character, let me know. I got a great idea for it. Right? And it's like, okay, we'll wait for you. You name it. There he is now. Jeez. Hey. Yeah. Well, tell them to give you an office. Now, tell them to get a budget. Well, tell them to put on shows that don't suck. Well, tell them to go fuck themselves. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Hey, you still there? Yeah. Hey, we're taking names for the new character for the channel. What was your idea? Horn. All right, real original. Cool, thanks. You tell people you'll do them a favor. So far, like we said, the internet gets to name, but one of the big leading names, because it's the only one submitted so far, is Horn. So, Horn is the front-running name for the new character on the channel. Now, you don't have to participate in the naming of the character, but you can help structure and reshape how society progresses forward from this point in time. Say you name the character and it takes off. Do you get any of the financial gain from it? Well, no, because any submissions are subject to us owning the rights to. Suckers pay to play, and by pay, this show's free, so we reap all the benefits. So any submissions in the chat box, we call dibs on. Daryl Dixon of The Walking Dead dibs. We know how that works around here. Everyone knows how that works around here. So, Daryl Dixon of the dibs on any name that comes through in the chat box that we debo for the new character for the channel with no financial ties to your submissions. Don't expect to get paid. And if you're submitting this after the disclaimer, you're responsible for everything in this video that is stated from the beginning of it all the way to the end. Oh, I gotta watch the whole thing? Well, if you're gonna try and sue us over some BS you do, because disclaimer, we own the rights to any submission. We call dibs. We're gonna change the spelling by one letter. Suckers! No, but, you'll play a part. And believe you me, we give credit where credit is due, so in the couple decades from now, when the channel really takes off, we'll come back and we will kick you at least $100, okay? Now, that's a pretty generous thing to say, but we're talking decades from now, right? And there's a lot of variables that are going to take place before that can come to fruition, okay? It's three things. First one is, before you can claim anything, our claim to Daryl Dixon of The Walking Dead internet fame for being the best worst celebrity will come to fruition when not only we pass our 500,000 subscriber giveaway special, which should be in a couple decades from now, and when that happens, we will give away a Dr. Pepper can of baked beans. That's right. Baked beans that are Dr. Pepper flavored. Now, they surely probably are by now maybe very inedible. So, they will probably have botulism upon delivery. Do not eat them probably at that point. And, if you're wanting to risk it for the biscuit in any iota way, shape, or form, you better open up that phone book of yours and, start sharing this shit and be like, man, you better subscribe to this asshole so that, he starts giving away those baked beans. I'm trying to get $100 for naming that new character on the channel that no one likes. Right? Fantastic. But unfortunately, we said there's three things need to happen, right? The baked beans 500,000 giveaway subscriber special. Well, just like this naming special, we haven't done it yet, right? Well, we've done the naming special. We're doing it now, so it kind of counts. But the only submission as of so far, let's check, is Horn. We have a high. So it's either high or Horn, okay? Those are pretty, if we're being honest, we're going with Horn in those two, options, okay? And believe you me, if it's not good, it's everyone else's fault, not ours, for not participating and not telling us, obviously, where we need to go, what we need to do, when we are thinking of names for the new character on the channel. Right? But the crazy thing is that as we sit back and drink from the skulls of our enemies, okay, and think about how with Colbert's now non-existent relevance and our continued climb to the bottoms of success, we can't help but wish that someone would name this damn thing and we could go home. But, lo and behold, we did promise that we would stick around and give everyone the opportunity to get their 2 cents in on what the name would be. So, let's talk about other aspects and components of 420. A, it's a number. Okay, so we probably should have started with 1. It's a number. But if we had done that, see, you would be entirely off of your rocker being like, what? No, don't phrase it like that. 1 is just a number. It's obviously 1 is a number. You can't state things like that just blanketedly. So we have to start with A. It's a number. Okay? But what does that number mean? What does 420 derive from? Okay? Why is it what it is? Well, obviously, it is the fact that we finally have 420 legitimate subscribers. Fantastic. That's great for us. If we keep it up with all these clever memes and ruses to trick people into subscriptions, then before you know it, we will hit that 500,000 giveaway subscriber special. We will round the corner to the second giveaway special. That is just one additional step away from you getting your $100 for naming this guy, right? You want $100 for naming? You better have a good name. You got to wait for the 3 steps. So the 500,000 giveaway subscriber special, okay, so that's a decade or so from now. And the next step, you need to hear it. You want to hear it. You're like, that $100 is as good as mine. I can taste it. I'm holding out. I'm going to throw in my recommendation for a name for the new character on the channel, even though I won't reap any benefits of it for years and years to come, unless it happens sooner, okay? We'll honor it. But, the second thing that needs to happen before you can lay claim to that juicy $100, that C note, if you will, is the 100,000 subscriber giveaway special. Oh, that's never gonna happen. I'm never getting my $100. And believe you me, at the rate we're going, there's might be some iota of truth to that. But, you never know. Maybe that $100 will be as good as yours in 2 decades from now, 3 decades from now, when we finally hit that 100,000 subscriber giveaway special where we give away the Post Fruity Pebbles flavored syrup. That's right. Again, probably well past consumption parameters at that point in time. It is a relic at that point. You will probably inherently get extremely sick upon ingestion. Not recommended, but the bottle is as good as yours. 100,000 subscriber giveaway special. Share the link now. Hey, come subscribe. Daddy needs a new syrup, and I hope I win. Okay? Like we said, might be a new syrup for you, but don't drink it. It's going to be well expired by then. You'll get very sick. Consult a healthcare professional prior to it. But after that happens, you're like, what? All right, I named the guy. I jumped through the hoops. I'm waiting for my $100. Okay, yes. We do the 50,000 subscriber giveaway special. We do the 100,000 subscriber giveaway special. We're down a can of Dr. Pepper baked beans and Post Fruity Pebbles flavored syrup. But, you know what? We get to know now what the third thing is that we gotta wait for until you get delivered the $100 for naming this new character that is not new or named yet on the channel. You might be saying, what? But you already said that we have to, full disclaimer, we're giving up the rights to any recommendations, things of that nature. And while that's true, we already got the best one that, what's-his-face recommended to go get from out back. Horn or some shit, right? So, I mean, we don't care what it's called. You think that matters? I mean, it probably does, but inevitably it doesn't. So who cares? We'll just kind of rock and roll as it goes, you know? So, anyhow, when we think of how names for this new character could come to be, we recollect and think all the way back to that meeting when what's-his-face recommended it in that meeting. And we knew then and there that that guy was a brown-noser, stay away from him. God, we could have at least pushed that shit off for another month or so before they even attempted or tried to, elicit a amount of work from us. Okay? That's why we don't usually go to those meetings we get in trouble for not going to. Because they suck. Hold on, management's calling. What do you want? We're on time. Mostly we're doing a show. Well, don't worry about it. Well, you want us to do the show or not? That's what I thought. So let's move forward then. All right, well, what's your idea for the name? Cotton Candy? Psh, that's a dumb name. Get out of here. Sorry, management. Chiming in like they know how to run the place. They think that a good name is Cotton Candy. Well, A, that name sucks. If we're going to name it, we would name it like Cotton Candy. Like the fluffy, edible one. Not like the white one that grows on plants. Oh, stupid management, yeah. So if you go with our iteration of it, that's way better than their dumb version. God. But I'm sure management's probably the same where you are too. Think they know how to run the place. Act like they're beyond other knowledge havers, okay? But the point is that, if it works out, it's pretty rad you get to have out there. You can be like, hey, man, I named this character on this channel somewhere. You're like, what channel? You're like, I'm not telling you. You'll cease being my friend. They're like, oh, Punk Rock Review. Oh, you Shyzabox. I knew that was you. That sounds like a name you'd pick. We're not friends anymore. You'll be like, ah, damn it, Shyzabox. You cost me my closest companions and allies. It's like, yes, nothing new. But when you take on Shyzalosophy, when you adapt to the presentations that it gives therein, then it's fairly easy to stick to and manifest a means and ways of approaching future engagements, right? Sure, you could stick around, hang out, watch them. You could take, maybe pleasure in the fact that, we get to hang out. You get to interact with a real of-the-life internet celebrity, okay? Feel free to touch us now, okay, through the internet. Some of you just need that contact, and that's okay, okay? That's enough touching. We don't know inherently where you've been today, or the internet is a crazy place. We don't know what sites you've been to. Now, if your algorithm pointed you here, chances are it's potentially worse than ours. So that might be an issue. But the fact of the matter is that when we're thinking of new names, and we think cotton candy centered around the edible food type item, the bright pink ones, and what's-his-face's idea of Horn, then we think that they did a pretty good job. Do we really need to venture in further and come up with more names? Well, we said we'd let the internet decide, and the internet isn't doing a lot of deciding. So I say we don't jump into it. I say that, we let it marinate. I say that we wait and take the best of the best and make sure that $100 gets to where it goes and is needed the most. Years and years and years from now. Decades and decades from now. A long time from now. When the channel is thriving well enough to where things are caught up around the studio, okay, then you shall reap your reward and benefits of your $100. So, internet, do your worst, do your bidding. Bodie McBoatface. Let's add that into the mix. That's ours. Now you might be like, Bodie McBoatface, you didn't come up with that. You'd be like, well, no, we didn't come up with it, but from what we recall on the crazy internet, when Bodie McBoatface won something or another, they decided not to use it. So, Bodie McBoatface, a current 2025. That's long. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that that's pretty much all we got for you tonight. So, if you want to get out of here before us, that'd be great, because we don't want you stealing our shit when we're not here. So, feel free to head out before us, because the show's over. We're going to be locking up. Haul ass. We'll catch you later. There's awesome stuff to go watch, for real. It's way better than this. What you need to do is open up another tab, and upon not watching this anymore, find another one of our longer streams, mute it, and then go watch that other one that you opened up on the other tab. So, perfect. Works out for lifestyles, mostly, and should accommodate for, or account for. I don't know. But what we didn't account for is the fact that that's all we got for you tonight. And by didn't account for, we did. Because that's all we got for you tonight. So, we see from where you're standing, you're beginning to leave footprints around on, our lawn, and it's mushing down the grass and squishing it and making it all discolored in that area. So, we don't want your subscription, we want your money. Downvote the shit out of this and give us a buck. Get off our lawn!